Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I want to talk to you about how to thrive, not just survive, but thrive as an energetically sensitive person. So, the first things first is people will say, like, well, how do I know if I'm an energetically sensitive person? And what I would say is, if you are an energetically sensitive person, you'll know, because it's pretty, it's generally pretty obvious. So, I'll go over some of the things that I experience and some of the things that I commonly see people who are energetically sensitive experiencing, just to kind of bring it into focus. So, I am someone who is definitely super energetically sensitive, and so what this looked like for me in my life was I had lots of problems with my digestive system, problem with my immune system, problems with my hormonal system, but more than that, because that can be a little vague, whenever I would kind of walk into a room where there was a lot of I don't want to say negative, but like pain energy going on, I would essentially think I was a schizophrenic person. I would, like, say, walk into church or walk into a part of town where there were lots and lots of homeless people, and I would feel overwhelmed with emotion and overwhelmed with thoughts and overwhelmed with sensation, and just I kind of spent the first sort of 20 years of my life just generally feeling overwhelmed by negative emotion. And I thought a lot of the time that it was coming from me, when a lot of the time it wasn't. It wasn't coming from me at all. It was coming from my perception of what was going on around me and the people around me. So essentially what's happening to you as an energetically sensitive person is you are receiving and perceiving a higher volume of information, a higher volume of stimuli than the average person or the person who is not energetically sensitive, okay? So you can think of it like you're a radio transmitter, and the non-energetically sensitive person is perceiving like 3 or 4 different radio stations at a time, and you're like satellite radio. You're like perceiving like every frequency on the out there that's being broadcast, rather than the old little radio that's perceiving like 4 or 5. Okay, so that's essentially what's happening to you as an energetically sensitive person. You're just picking up on a much larger volume of information than the non-energetically sensitive counterparts in your life. Okay, so what we commonly see with people who are energetically sensitive is, like I say, we develop issues. And so the most common things that I've seen in my practice, working with people who are energetically sensitive, is a lot of digestive issues, a lot of immune system issues, or like autoimmune issues, and a lot of hormonal issues. These are the 3 kind of ways that it generally manifests in the body if you really have no tools for kind of dealing with it. You will generally wind up with one of these 3 things or a combination of these 3 things. And that's, makes a lot of sense, right? Because our nervous system is picking up on all of these things. It's getting backlogged, hyperlogged with all of this excess information that you don't know how to deal with, and therefore it's causing issues. So the digestive system, runs very heavily on nervous energy and your stress hormones and all that stuff. Your hormonal system runs very, very heavily on nervous energy, and obviously your immune system and nervous system run heavily on nervous energy. And so when these things get clogged, it will generally manifest in the body in one of these 3, 4 ways, because I know that there are nervous system issues too. Or I generally see a lot of people develop mental stuff too, like OCD, eating disorders. Those are like anxiety and depression. They tend to be the kind of like cluster of energetically sensitive being who doesn't know how to be in the world and be energetically sensitive. We will come up with that. And then generally what I see in people is that it will be a combination of physical things and mental things, right? So we'll have like eating disorder plus digestive issues, or we'll have like OCD plus hormonal stuff going on. It's going to be manifesting kind of on all levels, because you're a complete human being that manifests things completely, okay? So if you're an energetically sensitive being and you feel overwhelmed by the energy of other people, or you deal with these kind of issues that I've been talking about, those are the signs and symptoms that you are an energetically sensitive human being, and you need some tools to help you survive/thrive in this hyper energetic world, okay, that we live in. So as I say, generally what's going on as an energetically sensitive being is you're picking up on the energy, the emotions, the feelings, the thought patterns of those around you, okay? And this is not some cruel joke on behalf of the universe, okay? I know that I used to believe that being energetically sensitive was kind of a curse, and I hated it and I didn't want it sometimes. But to know that it really is, when you can learn how to live with it, and when you can learn how to use it as a tool rather than something that hurts you, is actually going to really make your life better in a lot of ways, and you're going to see it as a blessing. So that's just kind of what I want to say about it. First thing is that if you're feeling like it's a big curse that you're energetically sensitive and you really don't want it, just know that like when you start to learn how to deal with these things, you're going to be so glad that you're energetically sensitive, because it really does. First thing first is that when you're energetically sensitive, this means that you have a better mechanism for understanding when you're on or off your path, okay? So this is the thing, it's like your GPS system is just way more sensitive and way more finely tuned. You're not going to be able to go really far off your path without manifesting a whole bunch of like roadblock symptoms that try and let you know that you've gone off your path. Because like we've talked about lots in these videos, is that your emotional guidance system and your physical guidance system are there to try and guide you to your path, right? And when you get off path, it's when you experience these negative emotions. When you get off path, it's when you experience these physical stuff. So just to think of it more like your system is working way better than most people's. You're way more in tune, and therefore you will learn how to use your energetic sensitivity as an advantage, because it will help you be on your path a lot better, a lot more often. If you learn how to use it, okay? So how do we learn how to use it? How do we learn how to survive and thrive with an energetically sensitive system? Okay, first things first is that clearing and shielding don't work. And I have been in the healing circles for a long, long time. I've been taught pretty much every shielding trick in the book, and none of them have ever worked for me. And so if you have some shielding stuff that works for you, have at her. Shield. Do it. But I want to offer a bit of an explanation for why I believe shielding doesn't actually work. So first things first, the first reason that shielding doesn't work is because you weren't designed to shield yourself from your energetic sensitivities. It's a part of your gifting. And as I say, when you learn to use it for good rather than having it kind of hurt you, you're going to see that. And so to shield yourself from the energy that you're sensitive to is kind of like saying, like, I've got this satellite radio that I want to like poke some holes in so that it stops working so well. It's almost kind of like saying, like, you're gonna cut off your own thumb. Like, it's a part of your gifting, and you're not meant to turn it off. So that's number one. Number two, we're all unified. We're all one. You can't really shield yourself from something in the collective because it's a part of you. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's a part of what, you know, is you. It's like saying that, you know, something that's going on in the heart isn't going to affect the digestive system. It is. It's a part of the whole system. When one part is off, it affects the whole. And this is the truth about energy to, you know, in life. It's that you can't protect yourself from the energies of other people because it is a part of your energy in the broader sense of the term, okay? Third thing is shielding doesn't work because it puts you in a vibration of protection rather than a vibration of safety, okay? And when you're in a vibration of protection, so you're shielding yourself, you're trying to block yourself from all this stuff that's going on, all you're going to do is manifest more situations where you need to be protected, okay? And that's not what you want. You don't want to be protected. You want to feel safe. You want to feel secure. You want to feel like there isn't this big threat out there at all. There's nothing to be protected from. You feel safe. Okay, so by continually trying to shield and clear the energy of the people around you, all you're doing is setting yourself up for more and more bombardment. Because, like I say, if you want to be in this vibration of shielding and protection, you're going to continue to have to manifest things to shield and protect yourself from in order to keep that vibration going, okay? So those are the main three reasons why shielding and protecting yourself from these energies don't work. It's because it doesn't really address the issue, and it doesn't address the fact that we're all one, and it just puts you in a place where you need more and more shielding and more protecting. So what do you actually do? Okay, so the first step in being an energetically sensitive person who's going to thrive is stop telling yourself you're wrong. Stop beating yourself up. Stop telling yourself you shouldn't feel what you feel. Stop feeling guilty that you get overwhelmed by things that other people don't. Stop beating yourself up for being energetically sensitive, okay? Stop beating yourself up for having stuff that's going on in your body. Stop beating yourself up for having crazy emotional swings. This is the first step, is to just acknowledge that you're energetically sensitive and acknowledge that you feel the way that you feel. You feel the way you feel physically, you feel the way you feel mentally, and you feel the way you feel emotionally. That is okay. Okay? Because most of the time, the biggest thing that I see happening with energetically sensitive people is they started off having just energetically sensitive stuff coming through in their emotions. When they were a young child, they were one of the kids that was like just had wild emotional stuff, or developed OCD kind of mental stuff early, because like I say, you were energetically sensitive your whole life, and you didn't have tools probably as a young child, so it started to manifest in the mental emotional realm first, and then it trickled down into the body as you were told by society that you weren't allowed to be the way that you are, that it was not appropriate to react that way, that it was not okay to feel that way, it was not okay to be that way. And so the first remedy that you need to do for yourself is to allow yourself to feel how you feel. Acknowledge how you feel, and say to yourself that it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to be where you're at. It's okay to be energetically sensitive. It's okay to be overwhelmed. Okay? That's step one. Step two is, first things first, for yourself. Show up emotionally for yourself in your emotions. Okay? So no more running away, no more saying, no more hating your body for its symptoms, no more hating yourself and your emotions, no more telling yourself you need to raise your vibration and be positive, no more abandoning yourself emotionally where you are and what you are feeling. Okay? It's so important. And the biggest thing that I see too is a lot of energetically sensitive beings beat themselves up. They're like, oh, I'm so crazy. Oh, I'm so sensitive. Oh, I'm so weak. Oh, I'm so all of these things. You gotta stop that. Stop beating yourself up. That is number two thing. Acknowledge that you feel how you feel. And number two, learn to start loving how you feel. Because this is what's gonna set you free. Because the thing that's happening with when you're picking up on what you're picking up on in everyone around you and in yourself, it's, there's kind of this old adage that what you don't like in other people or what bothers you in other people, or that's the stuff you're sensitive to in other people is the things you don't like about yourself. I think that that's true to a degree, but I don't think that necessarily explains all of it. But the thing is that what's showing up either in your pain body, in your emotional body, or in the pain that you're perceiving in others, is that pain is simply looking to be received, perceived, acknowledged, and loved, okay? So this is why trying to shield and run away from your own pain or the pain of others never works, because the true remedy, the reason it's showing up at all, is because all it needs is to be acknowledged, perceived, received, and approved of, loved, made space for. That is how you heal it. So when you're in a space where you're energetically sensitively picking up on these things in other people, what I want you to do is pause and breathe. First thing, acknowledge that you feel what you feel. Okay, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like there's a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, a lot of stuff going on here. Number two, so you've perceived it. You've received it and you've perceived it. You allow it. You say, okay, that's happening. This is happening. It's okay. Then you want to acknowledge it. Okay, so there are a couple of things you can do here. You can almost project yourself into your higher self, communicating with their higher self, the person that you're feeling this from or the people that you're feeling this from, and just say, okay, hey, I acknowledge this. I validate your experience. I validate what you're feeling. Or you can even just do that kind of in your heart space. You just say, look, I acknowledge, I validate what you're feeling. I get it. I see what you're feeling. I've been there. I felt that. I feel that. And instead of pushing it away and instead of trying to run away from it, you just allow it and you just receive it and you just say it's okay. And then you send it love. Okay, so this is the biggest key. You send it love. Rather than trying to get away from it, rather than trying to fix it, rather than trying to make it go away, you receive, perceive, acknowledge, and then you love it. You just say, okay, I'm just going to send that love. I'm not trying to get rid of you. I see you, okay? And this may not necessarily clear it for the person that's feeling it, okay? This is not going to heal it for the person that's feeling it. However, it will heal it, and it will make it feel better for you. So, and then the third thing that I want you to understand is that as this is happening to you, as you're perceiving these things in the people around you, you're practicing receiving, perceiving, acknowledging, and loving what's arising in you. Okay? So that means that when your emotions rise up, when your physical symptoms rise up, when your stuff comes up, when your mental games rise up, you pause, okay, I see you. I receive you. I acknowledge what you're feeling. It's okay. And I love you anyways. I love you. I love you self. I love you other. And that is how you thrive as an energetic being. Because as you learn to release your resistance to the pain that you're perceiving in others and the pain that you're perceiving in yourself, that is how you heal. Okay? So that means that as you move forward, you will be able to be energetically sensitive without having it to be so painful. As you learn to just love the pain that you're picking up on in other people, you will stop perceiving it as being so painful. It won't. It just won't be as painful. It's this magical thing. And the second thing is that you will start to actually heal your own pain and your own sensitivities and your own stuff that needs to be healed and is being brought to light through your energy and through your emotions. And this is how we heal the collective and the individual. Okay? So that is my long spiel on how to be an energetically sensitive person that thrives in the world. And yes, it's much more difficult done than said, but that is how you do it, right? You can do all the shielding techniques in the world you want. It's not going to help. You're just going to keep being in the same situation over and over again. If you want to actually get free and you want to get to the place where your energetic sensitivity feels like a blessing rather than a curse, perceive, receive, acknowledge, and love or approve whatever you want to say in yourself and in others. And that will heal it. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Like this video, subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have any requests, please let me know down below. I love getting your requests and I love answering your questions. And I'll see you in the next video.